What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another SNA podcast, episode 151. This is the wrestling news video, part 55, I believe. And we're going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the Fightful Select article. And we're going to start off with today's video. Start off with Santos Escobar on saying Rey Mysterio is only thinks about Ray only has time for Ray. And it says on the first video of the day on Fightful, Santos Escobar explains, or let me rephrase that before I get on December 1st, 2023. But anyway, Santos Escobar explains why he agrees with Dominic Mysterio about his father. On November 10th edition of Friday Night SmackDown, Santos Escobar turned heel and brutally attacked Rey Mysterio, trapping his leg in his leg in the his leg in the ring steps during the assault in the weeks following. Escobar has noted that he agrees with Ray's son Dominic's opinion on the legendary luchador. Since taking Rey Mysterio out of action with the attack, Santos has been involved with a rivalry with the remaining members of the OWO, defeated Dragon Lee at Survivor Series last weekend. And recently Santos appeared on WWE's The Bump and was asked if he truly agreed with the younger Mysterio's thoughts on his father. Santos noted that while he doesn't like or respect Dominic, he does agree that Ray has a pattern. And he said, "Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't like the guy. I don't even respect. I don't respect the guy, but I do see a pattern there. I mean, let's think about it. Dominic was the future of Lucha Libre. Then he wasn't. He wasn't. Then I was the future Lucha Libre. Then I wasn't. Now Dragon Lee's the future Lucha Libre. I wonder how that's going. I wonder that's gonna end up. But like I said before, down to a T, everything Dominic says, he was right. Ray only thinks about Ray. Ray only has time for Ray. Like I said before, I deserve to be the United States champion, and who and who ended up becoming the champion. It was my desire to reform the LWO. And when he did it, who ended up taking over, bringing in new members, just doing whatever he wanted and stealing the show you still in the show? You know who. Back on November 17th, WWE announced that Mysterio would be out of action for several months. You, I mean, and also in the same appearance, Santos send a warning to Randy Orton to stay away from Friday Night SmackDown. Well, we could probably see if that's the if we can see the same article on Fightful. But for now, what do you think about what do you think about the opinions of Santos Escobar? Do you think there really is a self-absorbed pattern from Ray, or do you think he's being a spoiled brat, just like Dominic Mysterio, a jealous spoiled brat, like a Dominic Mysterio? Even though he admitted that he does not like, let alone respect Dominic Mysterio, but but he agrees with the son of the legendary lucha libre. I mean, the legendary luchador, I should say, the legendary luchador by saying he's right. Like he was supposed to be the next star in lucha libre, and then that didn't happen. But I'll say but it's because he turned on his own father, and then the same goes to you. But you're going to be trying to get into the head of Dragon Lee. Like he's actually trying to be a lucha libre, just like Rey Mysterio. Like, and the reason why he would be the next lucha libre because he stick to it and not stab Mysterio in the back. That's what I would say. Like I'll say, with all due respect for Santos and Dominic, they weren't even thinking about being a luchador because if they were, they would be putting on the mask just like him. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't rule that out that they wouldn't wear the mask, like at least in the future. But like at least after the time where Rey Mysterio retires, I could see him happen. But I'm gonna let y'all decide what y'all's opinions about with Santos Escobar. I wouldn't agree with the jealous former member of the LWO member. But yeah, let's move on to the next. We have some sort of Chris Jericho news now. He wanted to have one more match with a CM Punk in AEW, and like like Jericho and CM Punk faced off multiple times during their time together in WWE. They 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 member they memorably clashed at WrestleMania 28, where CM Punk beat Jericho to retain the WWE Championship. That's the only time he headlined the championship for the title. Like very unfortunate, and never main evented the the event by being champion. Even though he was champion and and he got a chance to defend at WrestleMania, he never really main evented the show with the title. But anyways, once Punk came to AEW, many fans hoped to see the two stars reignite reignite their rivalry. However, they never got a chance to do so. Punk missed several um, months following a backstage incident with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in 2022. AEW terminated Punk's contract. Excuse me, but following his involvement in a backstage incident at All In, and at All In, Punk then returned to WWE at WWE Survivor Series, and and on X, a fan noted that they wished one one more match between Jericho and Punk in AEW. Jericho responded by saying that he did too. Like Jer- Jericho previously stated that he always loved working with CM Punk. And what do you think about Jericho liking and agreeing with the fan that wanted to see one more match between the Chicago made star and the Ocho, and having one more match in AEW? Y'all sound off in the comments. But let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is some Trick Williams news. Now we got some Trick Williams news. Now is he said that I told Shawn Michaels I wanted the ball. He gave it. He gave me a chance, and I've been making plays. And he sure has, like, of showing like that he can go go he can go to he can take it to the first, second, third, and the fourth quarter, especially even defeating Dominic Mysterio in the process. But anyways, let's talk about Trick. Let's talk about the former North American Championship, a catchphrase that him and his boy Carmelo Hayes would say. In recent months, Trick Trick Williams has seemingly stepped out of the shadow of Carmelo Hayes as he's scored wins over the likes of Dominic Mysterio and Joe Coffey and Joe Gacy. At NXT Deadline, Williams will compete in the Iron Survivor Challenge, uh, an Iron Survivor Challenge match against Dijak, Josh Briggs, and Ron Breaker. The winner of that match will earn an NXT Championship match. While speaking to the Den- Denise Sal Cedo, the uh, Denise, I believe, Denise Salcino, yeah, for for a new interview. Williams said the current edition of his character is the vision he had for himself all along. Williams also noted that starting out with Carmelo Hayes in NXT was good for him as he got to learn a lot. And and this is what he had to say right here. This is the vision that I had for myself all along. This is what I wanted for myself. I wanted to be a superstar. I wanted to be the guy. With with that being said, I was brought into WWE alongside Carmelo Hayes, which which is one of one of the best NXT superstars to ever do it. And I'm very fortunate for that. With me being so close to him, I got to learn a lot. I got to see how you conduct business, your mindset going into these big matches. I got to be in that. I got to be in the light. Like even though it's kind of more his light, but I didn't have the pressure being at those big stages, I should say. Okay, this is what it feels like. This is what it's about right here, like being able to build connections with the crowd. It was awesome for me, and it's awesome able to build my hunger because when you see your boy eating, it makes you want to have some success on your own too. Williams Williams went on to state that he asked Shawn Michaels for the ball at at one point, and it seems like Michaels gave him that opportunity. But he admitted that's just what it was to was the point where I had to go to Shawn Michaels myself and say, Shawn, I want the ball. I played football before I was going before I was the receiver. Or well, my bad. I mean, I played football. I before I was a wrestler, and I played wide receiver. Wide receivers are the guys who catch the ball. That's true. And if you don't catch the ball, you can't eat. You can't score the touchdowns. The the camera is not on you. Like me being able to go to Shawn Michaels off and say, I want the ball is probably the best thing ever I could have ever done because he looked me straight in the eye and said a lot of people came in my office and say they want the ball there's but they're not ready for it. He gave me the opportunity, and thus far I've been making plays. Fans can see current lineup for December 5th episode of NXT. But anyways, in a previous interview earlier this year, Trick Williams said that an agent agent tried to get him to sign with the XFL, which I think I heard about that before. But anyways, what do you think about Trick Williams saying admitting that it was his call that he wanted to get some singles success separately away from Carmelo Hayes, even though he enjoys teaming with the former NXT champion and being part of the Trick Mello game duo. But he did admit that he want to step out of the shadows of his main man Mello and get some success. And like I said earlier on to this onto this news story that he did defeated Dominic Mysterio for the North American Championship. Unfortunately, for he was only the champion for 3 days until losing the title back to him. And what do you think about him asking Shawn Michaels for the opportunity, and he instantly gave it to him because he said, "There's plenty of guys that ask him for it, not me, not Super Ninja Austin, Shawn Michaels for the opportunity, and they weren't ready for it." But he said he's special, and he looks like he's ready for the opportunity of a lifetime. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. What y'all and let me know what y'all think in the comments. And this we got okay, we got some Gunther news but luckily it's no envy list news. But anyways, Daniel Cormier said about Gunther is his favorite wrestler of all time. Daniel Cormier praised Gunther and also said that he's glad that he also said that he's glad he's not on his envy list. I'm just kidding. But anyways, Daniel Cormier is a former UFC light heavyweight champion and world heavyweight champion who has dabbled in wrestling most notably serving as the referee for the for the for the fight pit match between Matt Riddle and Seth freaking Rollins at Extreme Rules 2022. While speaking to Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour, Cormier gave an update on his favorite wrestlers by saying, "My boy Gunther, he's so good. Like, he's my favorite wrestler of all time. He's my favorite. He's has surpassed the Macho Man. I love Seth, but Gunther, I got into a fight while back with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks because they were doing too much flips. It really pissed me off. All the flips. I was like, what about a body slam, a a splash? Okay, Daniel Cormier sound like my grandma when she saw me watching the top flights, and he's like, the reason why they're not winning matches is because they're not like The Rock, like hitting slams like when he hits The Rock Spinebuster and The Rock Bottom. Daniel Cormier kind of reminds me of her for saying that. But anyways, Gunther's moves are a sleeper hold, a power bomb, and he does this splash off the top rope. It's awesome, he said. Gunther also said he likes Bronson. Gunther also said he likes Bronson Reed and the bigger wrestlers. Also in the interview during the interview, Cormier commented on the returning CM Punk to WWE. But what do you think about Daniel Cormier praising Gunther in his success and hitting moves like the powerbomb sleeper and the top rope splash, and him criticizing the likes of Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks hitting top rope moves and super kicks and hitting lacks of slams, which like I said just now, like kind of reminded me, sounded like my grandmother, but when she was watching AEW Dynamite. I'm not Dynamite. It was Rampage. It was about a year ago, like around this time when they were wrestling FTR. She was like the reason why they're not winning any matches, like because they're not hitting they're hitting lack of slamming maneuvers like The Rock, like when he hits Rock Spinebuster, Rock Bottoms, and DDTs, like, and etc. Like, and and these guys are hardly doing that. They're only hitting, trying to look pretty and looking nice and trying to be impressive. Well, they are impressive, and luckily, like Top Flight are being more are winning more matches. I think thanks to teaming with Action Andretti, I guess. But it's they're just doing exactly what the script says, but also they're but you gotta admit, like with some people would say like well may have points, like including with my grandmother and Daniel Cormier, for an example, like giving their honest opinions about wrestlers not hitting like hard hitting moves, like, and that's why they're not that's where they're not really that much dominant into the squared circle. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about Daniel Cormier, his favorite wrestler being Gunther, in the comments down below. Okay, let's move on. We got MLW news as their fusion stream and results, like, of November 30th last night in in Bum and Bum May and Bum May and Bum May Fight Club faced World Titan Federation. Major League Wrestling aired its latest episode of Major League Fusion on November 30th. Fans can watch the show in the video above. Like, the results are in. It says Matt Cardona says he's going to win the MLW World Heavyweight title, and he's dealt with with the real Kane. Thumbtack's Pit of Death match, like with not John, Jimmy Lloyd, like defeated Cannonball, Cannonball, not Cannonball. It said Masked Good Brother, Masked Good Brother. Like, I got three enters, like, to greet Matthew Justice, and one one called Manders. Like, he has course light. It's not Vince Warner. He drinks Bud Light, and wasted youth. Uh, Marcus, when wasted youth. Market, aka Marcus, Math, Mothers, and Dylan. Or no, that. Yeah, I'll say. Uh, or or Dan or Dion 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 McKay. Dion McKay. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And then they defeated main event main events. Middays Black and Jay Lyon, and Austin Luke and Lucky 13. World Titan Federation cuts a promo. Zeta Steel defeated Gia Scott uh, still still signs a contract with WTF, like World Titan Federation, uh, Federation's Tom Lawler, like Tom Lawler, and Josh Bishop and Alex Hammerstone defeats uh, Bum Bumay Fight Club's Jim Bu- Bougie, Boji, J. Boji, Mr. Thomas, and O'Shea Edwards. Like WTF and Bome Brawl, like and Kane lays out Cardona with a suplex. And they, but what, but what do you think about the results of, and what do you think about the results of Major League Wrestling's uh, latest pay per view or event, live event, or whatever you want to call it? Like from this past from last night for those Major League Wrestling fans. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to the next wrestling news, and it is NBA champion. We got the NBA champion Jeff Teague comments on CM Punk's return to WWE, saying that's Sugar Honey Iced Tea was rocking. And he didn't say Sugar Honey Iced Tea, even though it sounded like he would say something like that, but he didn't say that, trust me. It's actually the literal S bomb. But anyways, Jeff Teague comments on or Punk's return on the company at to the company at Survivor Series premium live event shocked many fans and wrestlers around the world. As it turns out, Punk's return to WWE also shocked a NBA champion in Jeff Teague. While speaking on the latest episode of the Club 500, 520 podcast, Teague said that CM Punk's return gave him chills and that the moment is probably one of the top three favorite wrestling moments of all time. He said, that was hard on God, bro. That's probably the best. Like, what's number three? John Cena coming back was one of the top ones at WrestleMania, but that that right there, that was hard. And he came back in Chicago. That Sugar Honey Iced Tea was rocking. I ain't I ain't gonna lie. I was watching that show. I low key got chills. People gonna call me weird for that throughout his entire career in throughout his entire career in the throughout his entire career in the NBA. Teague played for the Atlanta Hawks, the Boston Celtics, and the Indiana Pacers and Milwaukee Bucks. Teague was selected to the 2015 All-Star team before going on to win the NBA win the win a NBA championship with the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021. Yeah, I remember watching the NBA Finals with my brother and the rest of my family back in that year. They played against the Phoenix Suns, to be the exact. And I need to start making basketball reviews and basketball news videos, like because I'm very interesting of doing that baseball and football. Like at, at one point, uh, in my spare time, like if I ever get some more spare time. But anyways, it is currently unknown when Punk will appear next for WWE. Fans can when WWE, like rumor has it that he could show up as soon as tonight's Friday Night SmackDown, and if he does, call. I am going to call the. I'm going to recap it later on tonight. On to after the show of Raw and AEW Rampage goes off the air. Well, what do you think about the NBA star? The NBA star Jeff Teague of being absolutely shocked and interested and amazed about CM Punk's return as the top I'll say the top three surprisingly best thing in WWE right now, next to the likes of John Cena returning. Y'all y'all sound off in the comments, but let's move on to the next news now, and it is some Kevin Owens news now. And it said Kevin's on what he said. Uh, uh, like we have some Kevin Owens news that he said that I'm so happy that Randy Orton is back. He's he's good to have around. And this is the Viper made his return to the company at the Survivor Series Premium Live event as he teamed with Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso and Sami Zayn in the men's Survivor Series War Games match against the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre. Orton followed up his return at Survivor Series with a big win on the following Monday's episode of Raw as he defeated the NXT North American champion Dominic Mysterio in a non-title bout. While speaking to James Williams for a new interview, the prize fighter Kevin Owens was asked about Randy Orton's return to the company, and and this is what Kevin Owens had to say in response. I love Randy. I'm so happy he's back. I I think he's much needed to me having him around in the locker room is an absolute positive. Besides the fact that he's a fantastic performer and a legend, there's some people that are just good to have around, and he's good to have around. There are people now, which is what I love about our locker room currently. There are there are people that are leaders without saying I'm a leader. Randy is one of them. So when he's around, everyone steps up their game because Randy Orton's here. In the interview, Owens commented on CM Punk's return to the promotion. but what do you think about but anyway, yeah, like, but hopefully I get to that next about Kevin Owens' opinion on CM Punk. But what do you think about Kevin Owens uh, uh, being glad that Randy Orton's back in WWE, and he's a a spectacular, not spectacular. I mean a very, I would say a an excellent performer. That's what we say. He's an excellent performer, a legend in the business, and and he and he's really glad that he's back, and also he's a locker room leader, and he didn't even brag or even to say anything about it. Like everybody just looks up to him, like they look up with the other legendary wrestlers in the past that were locker room leaders in WWE at the time. Like, and it's been noted that ever since The Undertaker retired 3 years ago, Randy Orton stepped in as the new locker room leader in WWE. But yeah, y'all let me know down in the comments below and give me y'all's opinions. I think that Kevin Owens is right. Yeah, he's a legend. Randy Orton's a great performer, and also he really is a locker room leader because everybody, the boys in the locker room, look up to him and seeing what's what's next into what's next for him in WWE, and what's for him to call like um of getting a handful of dream matches, I guess to say. Like, that's my take on the fans look up to him of 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 getting future dream matches, and even having dream matches and even taking the spot of an RKO into the match into a great moment. But let's move on to the next news now, and it is the Blackpool Combat Club member Claudio Castagnoli said the Blackpool Combat Club coming out to Shake It Off like by Taylor Swift would be great. And it says right here they can dance on their own. Like Tony Khan previously revealed that AEW helped Wembley Stadium to host more Taylor Swift concerts in in August of 2024 by changing the load in time for AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. With Taylor Swift also being in the news, Claudio Castagnoli was asked by The Sun if there could be a Taylor Swift and AEW connection at all in 2024. And Claudio noted, I mean, I feel like the Blackpool Combat Club coming out to shake it off, I would be great. That would be quite something, right? I'm sure she could sing while thing sing wild thing as well. That would be pretty sweet. I I think it's obviously really cool, but because I don't know, it's just I feel like it's two very loyal fans bases. They I guess two loyal fans. There's two loyal fan bases. Within the span of a week, so I think it's great to very different shows as well. He said, "You too, mommy. Yeah, thank Bye bye. See you when you get off. Love you too.
Love you too. Yeah.
Anyways, I think it's obvious, really cool because I don't know. It's just I feel like it's two very loyal fan base. Oh no, what I'm saying, like a span of so I think it's great. Two very different shows as well. He said, ask if Swift would succeed in the ring. Claudio said, "I mean, she's very successful in whatever she wants to do. Like so, I wouldn't put put it past her." AEW could certainly use an anti-hero like Claudio. I mean, yeah, Castagnoli will be in action on AEW Collision tomorrow night, taking on Brody King as part of the Continental Classic tournament into the Blue League side. And who you think's gonna win? Let me know in the comments down below. And what do you think about Claudio Castagnoli saying that he wouldn't put past Taylor Swift wrestling in the ring? I'll say the only time I'll see her wrestling in the ring if it if she's teaming with Travis Kelsey, and that would be like in some kind of a mixed tag match with them two against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And also on another thing, I would say, what do you and also what do you think about uh about if there will be any connections with Taylor Swift and AEW, which like they're two fan base with her in the music industry, and then AEW is a wrestling industry. But he also wouldn't rule out that Taylor Swift could be a part of AEW, especially like for the fact that that Tony Khan helped out with Taylor Swift being on Wembley Stadium in 2024. Y'all, considering considerably, I should say. Y'all let me know down in the comments below about all that stuff, and we're gonna we got Walker. We got Walker Stewart news now says like he's learning to pace himself on commentary when calling longer matches. Walker Stewart like discusses his adjustment to comment commentating longer matches before joining New Japan Pro Wrestling earlier this year. Walker Stewart has spent the the vast the vast majority of his time on the independent scene, where matches typically tend to be on the shorter side. Many bouts in New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially on the bigger shows, tend to be on the longer side, with some matches even explicing the 60-minute mark at times. While speaking to Fightful in an in an in a new interview, Stewart talked about adjusting to longer matches and how he is learning to pace himself on commentary. He said, "Yeah, first and foremost, for anyone that may not know this, the style of match, that 40 minute plus just balls to the wall in the last 15 minutes. It's a long build over a period of time. It, I'm used I'm used to hitting my times, like, so in a match on a independent show, instance like, hey, say, hey, you guys have 8 to 10 minutes. That means have 8 to 10 minutes to recap 2 years of history between these people, and why we're here. I've gotten into a habit with speeding up that explanation process. One of the things that Chris even Chris about that Chris and even Kevin has been super influential, helping me realize that these main event matches are gonna go 25, 35, 45 minutes long at some point, and it's okay to pace yourself. I don't want to say draw out the explanation of the story. You don't want to bother people like that, but these but there's an art to it. Finding a way to tell a story over 40 minutes of of in of in-ring action. You're inside that ring. The story could change at at a at a dime. There could be an injury, a body a body part somebody starting to work on, etc. That was something that developed within that match as well. Chris expert ex, expertly pointed out red shoes, but being the referee and being the father of Shota Umino, all right, here's another dynamic we play into for the next 40 minutes. There is an art to calling professional wrestling that is easy to say. It's generic or whatever. There's a particular skill set to call those long main events, and it's something that I realized. I'm not saying that I don't have that, but I realized that there's growth here. That was an immediate indication of what I need to work on. Also, I also into this interview on the same interview, Stewart praised his commentator commentary partner uh, Ch- Chris Charleston. Charles, I mean not Charles, Charlton. I'll say Charlton. My bad. But what do you think about him given the techniques of calling out matches, whether if they're 25, 35, and 45-minute matches, and seeing the skills in the squared circle from the professional wrestlers, like in independent scenes and now in New Japan Pro Wrestling, like with the likes of Shota Umino. Y'all sound off in the comments. Let's move on to the next wrestling news. Now some Shawn Michaels news now as the the learning the learning aspects of NXT is so it's so fun to me. I'm learning new things at the age of 58. I did not know Shawn Michaels is 58 years old. Wow. I thought he was like 56 or 57. Wow. I can't believe he's almost 60 years old. Like, wow. But anyways, he said, coming from the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels loves working with young talent. Like for the from the past number of years, the NXT brand has been headed by Shawn Michaels. Michaels has often been praised by fans for his work on the brand and help and and for helping create new stars like Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and Tiffany Stratton, along with many others. While speaking to Fox 61 for a recent interview, Michael said that the learning aspect of NXT is very fun as he is still learning things about the business e- even at age of 58. He said, honestly, working with all the young men and women that that could th- that could throw here again throw here again for me, this is the best part when it's all about fun. It's all about passion and and learning and and learning and learning growing learning and growing like the opportunities to take some risk, like make some mistakes, like the learning aspect of a job to me is so fun even at 58. I continue to learn new things because it's an ever changing business. To get them young coming in the door is when it's all very exciting. It's a wonderful excuse not to ever have to grow up, and that so works for me. Anybody that knows me knows that's right right down my alley. If you miss anything from the November 28th episode of NXT, check out the Fightful recap article onto the Fightful article right now. But anyways, what do you think about Shawn Michaels saying that he about him learning new things, even though he's at the age of 58. And I did not know he's exactly 58 right now. I thought he won't be 58 for like another year or two. But I guess I was wrong, I suppose. But anyways, back to the question. What do you think about him learning this at that age? And also, he's having fun being the executive head writer of NXT and making and admitting. making new stars and also having fun with it in the process. And him saying he's still learning a lot of things, like learning everything new every day. Like, let me know everything about that in the comments down below. And him making stars with former NXT men's and women's champion with the likes of Breaker and Mello and even Stratton. Let's move on to some more Claudio Castagnoli, man. And he says he'd love to have a singles match at AEW All in 2024. And it says after a successful outing at the venue earlier this year at All Elite Wrestling, this year, All Elite Wrestling will return to Wembley Stadium in 2024 for the second edition of AEW All In. During this year's edition of All In, Claudio Castagnoli teamed with his fellow Blackpool Combat Club members, John Moxley and Willa Yuta. Willa Yuta will also teaming with Santana and Ortiz of the former Proud and Powerful, taking on uh, their best friends, taking on best friends and their best friend Eddie Kingston and the Best Friends faction with Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy, and also their team with Penta El Zero Miedo, like in a Stadium Stampede match, while also speaking to the Sun for a new interview. Claudio Castagnoli said that he'd love to have a singles match at AEW All in 2024. But if that's not the case, he'd love to team with his fellow Blackpool Combat Club members once again. He's he noted. I mean, yeah, I'd love to have a singles match just because that would be cool to check that off my list, my personal to-do list. If if not another eight-man tag with the Blackpool Combat Club, uh, whenever I'm in the ring with those guys, it's just fun. You just look over. It's Mox and Brian and Yuta, and and you're you're just like, it's great. I'm surrounded by all my friends. Let's have some fun. But yeah, Claudio Casanova will take on Brody King tomorrow night at AEW Collision at the Continental Classic, possibly being the first match onto the round two of the Blue Leagues. And who's gonna walk out victorious against Brody King for? Who's gonna be Brody King or him into the match? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And it also says Fightful will have a full coverage on when it goes live on the air. And I will have a coverage on my own, but when it goes off the air, when I talk about it here on the SNA podcast, which will possibly be likely episode 155. AW Collision Part 16. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And what do you think about Claudio Castagnoli thinking about having a singles match at the AEW All In Wembley Stadium show? Let me know also in the comments down below about that as well. And do you think he's gonna team with? Do you think he's gonna have a singles match, do you think he's going to be teaming with his fellow BPCC teammates in an eight-man tag match with another quartet faction? Only time will tell. And yeah, sound off in the comments below. And he said like he would do either way, like whether if he has a singles match or being in a multi-man 8-man tag match, like he'll go either way. Like especially he loves teaming with his teammates with Danielson and Moxley and Yuta. So it wouldn't be a bother with him regardless. Let's move on to some. Let's move on to some some more news. Is because we got some Roman Reigns news. As he's going to be he's scheduled in to be on Friday Night SmackDown this month. Roman Reigns has been announced for December 15th, January 5th, and even January 19th, which will probably be the SmackDown the week before the Go Home edition. Like episodes of WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Roman Reigns is back. WWE took to social media on yesterday on November 30th, and announced new dates for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Reigns is set to appear on the December 5th, December 5th, and even January 5th of 2024, and January 19th, 2024 episode of WWE SmackDown. The December 15th episode of the show will take place in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in January 5th, 2024 edition of the show will be held in Vancouver, British Columbia, the January 19th, 2024, like episode of the show, like will go down in Atlanta, Georgia too. Well, in Vancouver, British Columbia, and then December 15, 2023, place in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And then January 19th, episode of Friday Night of the show will take place in Atlanta, Georgia. And here's the post right here where he's going to be scheduled for Friday Night SmackDown as he heads to 2024 as still the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, which is on the road to WrestleMania, which I think Cody's still going to finish that story, but it's only opinion at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to give you 10 extra seconds to look at this. And if you need more time, I'll recommend you to pause this video to see more. But what do you think about Roman Reigns' return? And for those who possibly live in that area, will you be buying your tickets now and seeing the Tribal Chief? Y'all sound off in the comments below. But Reigns last competed at the Crown Jewel Premium Live event on November 4th, 2023. Recap, you can watch the video on the SNA podcast from the beginning of January. Not January, the beginning of November. January is not until a month from now. But anyways, where he defeated the undisputed Universal Championship against LA Knight. Fans can see the current lineup for the December 1st episode of WWE SmackDown, which will be live 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. Pacific, which is one of my times, but I'm not going to say which one because that would kind of reveal my location right now. But yeah, the point is Let me know in the comments about Roman Reigns' appearances. And surprisingly, he will appear 2 weeks from now in January 15th. And I would be and don't be surprised if they announce this on tonight's SmackDown. But still, Randy Orton will still send a message to the likes of Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso and even Paul Heyman with an RKO out of nowhere. Who knows? To let him know that he's seeking for revenge, and perhaps he'll face the Tribal Chief at the Royal Rumble for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And we could possibly see Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble for the second time in a row and challenge the Tribal Chief. Well, only time will tell for that. And finally, we're going to be talking about some more Kevin Owens news. Except he's talking about his opinion on CM Punk's return and saying, "I just want to see see want to have I just want to have fun at work. If he has that mindset, great, have that mindset, like that would be great." And then we got some more news about the prize fighter in the same interview. Like the self-proclaimed best in the world made his shocking return to WWE at the Survivor Series Premium Live event as he made his entrance following the conclusion of the men's War Games match that pitted Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso and Sami Zayn and Randy Orton against the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre. Many wrestlers have since reacted to the news, and Kevin Owens is the last name to join that list. While 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 speaking on the same interview with James Williams, Owens was asked about the return of CM Punk. Kevin Kevin noted, um, "I just want to have fun at work. So if he's got that mindset, then great." Owen seems to be exhaled about Punk's return to to uh, capital of sports, like returning to the capital of sports entertainment. Like on the November 27th episode of WWE Raw, Punk cut a promo saying that he's home in WWE and that he has changed at the at the at the t- at the tall at the tail end of the promo. Punk also noted that he isn't here to make friends, just money. Like fans can, um, but yeah, we're gonna, but what do you think about Kevin Owens saying like he's here to have fun in his job, and if CM Punk's the same, then great. Like he would love. What do you think about him saying like him having a fun dream match with the Chicago made star? If CM Punk's willing to have fun alongside him, y'all sound off in the comments below. And what do you think about Kevin Owens being enthusiastically excited about CM Punk getting back into the squared circle and possibly having dream matches with the likes of like him, Seth Rollins, and much more other wrestlers that he could possibly have in his stay in WWE? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next wrestling news, and it is Chris Hero saying I wouldn't be satisfied without with a one-off match in AEW. Like he said, I want to build for the future. Chris Heroes discussed signing with All Elite Wrestling. Hero has worked with the company in a backstage capacity since June, when he was uh, uh, hired to be an agent for weekly episodes of AEW Collision. Before Hero was brought into the promotion, word had spread around the internet about Hero doing backstage work for Ring of Honor before Tony Khan bought bought the company in March of 2022. On the latest episode of AEW Unrestricted podcast, or AEW Unrestricted, just to be the exact, Hero talked about his long standing friendship with Sanjay Dutt and how that led to him landing a job in AEW. He said, "I have known Sanjay Dutt for a very long time, and Sanjay was kind of the go between for a couple of offers that were made for me in the ring in the past year or two, I should say. I've I've stayed in touch with Sanjay, I should say, with Sanjay. I think I first met Sanjay in 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 two or three, and like since in '02, '03, and we've just been buddies off. And for years I had expressed to him, I had just kind of been telling him what I'd been doing and where I came in and helped out with Ring of Honor in the last 6 months of the Sinclair era. Then I hope over the IWC in Pittsburgh to help produce and format those shows. Then this whole thing that I've done this year with West Coast Pro, I was giving him habits here and there on what I was doing. A collision comes up. They're are gonna need some more people. We have a ton of coaches, but it's still just a lot more instance. Like at at the last pay per view, I I had I had two segments. I and then there were two of us there were working to get the segments down, get the times down. It's just very helpful to have as many people as possible. Hero went on to note that he was asked about a full-time contract with the company after a small tryout. Hero also stated that he told AEW that he didn't want to stop working for West Coast Pro and that he wanted to make his in-ring return elsewhere before even thinking about wrestling in AEW. So he said, Sanjay had asked if I was interested in that. I was like, yes, but this that but that in the other. So what we worked out was I would come in for 5 dates. He's like, let me know what your schedule is. That that was Chicago. There were two in Toronto and two in Hamilton. Then once that was done, we kind of reconvened and thought about it long term. I had a I had a couple of conditions. I didn't want to give up any of the stuff I was doing with West Coast. I wanted to make my return elsewhere before even thinking about doing anything with AEW, because if I end up doing something in the ring with AEW, I want it to be be as special as possible, and not something that's done the for the spar for the for the spontane for the spontaneous moment of it. And and then it's over and it's done. That's where the whole TK tweeting, I'm I'm chipping away from away at him thing, away from here things I think away from me of him thing came from because it sit next to him at the desk every week. What do you think about him finishing up with West Coast Pro, and also having this having a having a run in a wrestling company elsewhere before uh, starting his wrestling career in AEW, despite being a backstage producer for AEW / Ring of Honor. And what do you think about he how think about him being longtime best friends with Sanjay Dutt? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Like, but yeah, he said he's been friends with him for over 20 plus years. Like, wow, like that's a very that's a really good accolade. A very impressive. But Chris Heroes also went on to clarify that he wouldn't be satisfied with doing a one-off match in AEW, as he would prefer to do something that builds for the future. Like he said, the thing is, it's never that I didn't want to wrestle for AEW. It's just I realize how complex and vast the company is. I wouldn't be satisfied with just doing a one-off thing. Like whoop, I'm here, I'm there. I would prefer to do something with some thought put into it, and then that builds for the future. Also, I've been out of the ring for 3 years, 3.5 years to be the exact. My apologies. And it says right here, they also says I gotta get my head right. I gotta get my body right. Those were my conditions. Like, they and and they said, yeah, no problem. We need to excuse me. We need the help, and we like your help specifically. So let's work on a deal, and we'll get you on every collision except for when you have West Coast West Coast, and then maybe you make it up on a dynamite or a extra pay-per-view or something. So far so good. It's been a lot. I haven't been on the road this much since maybe even before I went back to NXT. It's been a challenge to hit the road hard again, but it's been great. Everybody's been wonderful and appreciative, but also under understanding. I got to full gear late because of travel. That sucked. I didn't like that, but it still worked. What do you think about also Chris Hero's not being in a hurry to be on an AEW show? Like if it's just gonna be a one-off because he well, when do you think he's gonna make his debut for AEW Dynamite? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And what do you think about AEW scheduling them in for a AEW scheduling him in for a future AEW show, whether if that being like a AEW Collision or AEW Dynamite, which he helped produce, like the O's and AEW, Ring of Honor TV tapings, and also some pay-per-views for the All Elite promotion. And anyway, it said Hero got his wish. He was able to make his return to the in-ring return. Yeah, he faced it made his return to the ring against Timothy Thatcher at West Coast Pro Wrestling Whiplash event on November 17th. And yeah, he recently faced Timothy Thatcher. And what do you think? What's Chris Heroes' next match? And do you think he's going to join AEW and perhaps reunite with Claudio Castagnoli, like from their indie days as a tag team and their tag team days in Ring of Honor when it was originally its own company before Tony Khan balled him out? Y'all sound off in the comments below. Okay, we got some Shazza. We got some Shaza McKenzie news now. She says she wants to wrestle in Hammerstein Ballroom Ballroom and in the 2300 arena. Now that she reside in the United States, Mackenzie has the opportunity to wrestle in some of the most historic venues around the country. And it says, as it turns out, it seems that Mackenzie has a number of venues that she'd like to wrestle in. Sometime in the near future. Like while speaking to Fightful for a recent interview, McKenzie named off arenas like Hammerstein uh, the Hammerstein Ballroom, the Hammerstein Ballroom, and in the 2300 arena, saying there's obviously all the all of the giant stadiums like that would be really nice. Would love that of the Hammerstein Ballroom, like as far as an ECW fan, ECW arena, like somehow I've never wrestled in there. Like 2300 or whatever it's called arena. I don't know what it's called these days, but we know it's the ECW arena even if they changed the name or whatever. I I think there's those are probably those are probably top of the list. I've been pretty blessed to wrestle like at Logan Share and Logan Square, not Share Square, my bad. Logan Square and all these Midwest places that that are that's that that's syn- that's synonymous like that's synonymous with independent wrestling. I've wrestled in a flea market, so I've lived the dream. Okay, I've wrestled in the halls. I've wrestled in the in the in the bingo halls. I've achieved a lot. Okay, so it's just the big stadiums like in the Hammerstein ballroom. Okay, nothing big. McKenzie is set is set to face off against Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp at Black Label Pro's upcoming Slamilton like show on Saturday, December 2nd. Fans can learn more about the show by visiting Black Label's Pro's social media account. Like Sapp is raising money for the National Alliance on mental illness for the match. Like you can donate at NAMI. And what do you think about about Shaza McKenzie facing Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful on in this little independent wrestling show in tomorrow night called uh, on at Label Pro's upcoming Slamilton Slamilton event, of course. But also in the interview, Shaza McKenzie also spoke about pick Billy Starks, Nyla Rose, Trish Stratus, and other to be on a modern day version of Total Divas, I believe. Total Divas, like fans, yeah, or something like that. But what y'all think about what she said about I said about Trish Stratus and Nyla Rose and Billy Starks? Y'all sound off in the comments below, and we're gonna move on to the next wrestling news. Ending today's video with AEW star Haley Cameron revealed a cover star of December 2023 Fitness Girls magazine. Haley Cameron is the cover star of Fitness Girls. Cameron took to social media on Thursday, November 30th, to reveal the news to the world. This is Cameron's second time on the cover on the magazine, which has profiled other wrestlers like Mandy Rose and Chelsea Green, like over the years. But yeah, here's here's the photo posted on, I believe, Instagram or Twitter of Haley Cameron from AEW. And there's a caption with goes that says, "Thank you for having me on the cover for a second time. I for the second time, Fitness Girls, like shot by ill light photos. Get your issue today. Like hashtag AEW, hashtag Haley Cameron, hashtag Fitness Girl, hashtag Cover Girl." And here's the post right here. And what do you think about this this AEW star being on the cover of Fitness Girls? Y'all sound off in the comments down below. And yes, sir and ma'am, that was your list of AEW Fightful's article. I mean, that was your list on the Fightful's articles, wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know on December 1st, 2023. And also, what was one of your favorite out of this list into today's video on episode 151? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But also about that, and if you like this video, make sure you hit the huge thumbs up, comment down below. I already said that. Subscribe, click the bell notification beside it so you can be uploaded when so you can be notified when I upload my upcoming videos. And also and make sure you watch my previous videos that I made from the past 3 months, like on my content onto the SNA podcast on this channel, which is at Super Ninja Austin 213, and also share with your friends and family all over social media, and make sure you stay tuned for this evening for when I make my SmackDown reviews, like which will be episode 152, which that's scheduled in like upcoming, and my AEW Dynamite. I'm not done. My AEW Rampage review afterwards, which will be episode 153, which that's also on the upcoming. That's on the upcoming list onto my YouTube content. So make sure to stay tuned for that for this evening, right? As after SmackDown and Rampage goes off the air, which will be part 16, I believe. Yeah, part 16 of the podcast. But for now, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, on this 151st episode of the SNA podcast of the Wrestling News, part 55, like where I talked about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know, and from the Fightful article on today's video on December 1st, 2023. And I hopefully y'all have a great Friday, and I'll see you all later on this evening. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out. Bye-bye, my SNA fans. See you later.